Welcome to this episode of One Dream, One Vision. My name is Irene and I am your host. So, I have been missing in action for a few weeks. So, over the summer, I took a little bit of an unplanned break from the podcast just to refresh my energy and basically because, unsurprisingly or surprisingly, it turned out that I got quite overwhelmed by the beginning of the summer holidays. So I took the decision to remove some things from my business and to prioritize my kids basically. So I'm going to talk about in this episode just some of the challenges that I've come up across, how I've overcome those, and I'm also just going to talk about what's been happening for me and what's coming up next. So back on the podcast, which is amazing, and it's so lovely to have you listening. And I suppose I have to say I'm sorry that I was missing in action because it kind of wasn't planned. It started with the summer holidays. The summer holidays just sort of came at me in a great big roll of emotion. The children being at home, and they seemed to be quite different this time. It was a different summer holidays. I think the novelty of holidays and being off school wasn't there anymore because they've had so much time off and they wanted to do a lot of things. They were quite needy, and I think that's quite normal after everything that they've been through. So they needed a lot of my time and a lot of my attention, and they deserve that. They deserve that over everything because it's their emotional well-being that I'm here to support. And I had to take the decision is what can I give up? What can I let go of while I focus my attention on the children? Because I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision between the three things that are really, really important in my life, which are myself, the kids, and my business. And something had to go because this overwhelm meant that there was a lot of frustration in me. There was a lot of lack of sleep. There were moments of anger, and it was bringing up a lot of emotions for me because I didn't have the capacity emotionally or physically, time-wise, to give to every single thing. I had to take the decision on what to let go of. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, it does mean that it comes in because we have a lack of time. We have too many things to do with the resources that we actually have because we're women. You only have yourself. You only have so much within you that you can actually give at any one time. There is the same amount of hours in the day as everyone else, but what's important to you when you look at what you actually value and what's really, really important to you, and you find when you're overwhelmed that if you're not giving that time and you're not giving that love and you're not focusing your energies on the things that you really, really value, then you will become overwhelmed and frustrated by these other things that are in your life taking up your space and your energy. And it's so important to protect your energy because that energy is what keeps us going every day. That energy is what drives you in everything that you do, but that energy is what you give out love to. And I was coming from a place of fear. I was coming from a place of emotional fear, and this was bringing all these emotions up from inside me. So what I decided I had to do was I had to let go of the podcast for a bit, and I had to post on social media once a day. I had to come off LinkedIn for a while because I can only be in one place at any one given time, and I decided that I would like to be on Instagram, mostly because I love the fun of doing some reels and I love the fun of like watching the videos and it's just the visual. I think I needed the visual at that time, and the visual's just kind of easy, isn't it? The swiping. And to just focus on spending time on myself and spending time with the children. And it really, once I made that decision, once I decided what I was going to let go of, then things really, really took a quick step forward away from that overwhelm, and it released a lot of things for me. So just making the decision just was even enough on its own. So think about something that's maybe making you feel overwhelmed. Think about is your life overwhelming at the moment? Are there a lot of things that need your attention? And making decisions on what can I actually let go of and actually focus my energy and my attention to. And then that will give you that that emotional release, because that's what we're looking for, is the emotional release, and we're looking for that space to come in. And when I had that space, then I was able to relax. I was able to do the kind of things that I love. I was able to be creative and able to involve myself in the laughter and the love with the boys. And yeah, and we had so much fun. And I can't say that there weren't still moments where I was still a little bit overwhelmed, but it was certainly a lot more relaxed and a lot more free and a lot lighter. So what did we get up to? Well, we did some camping. We did some camping in like 30 degrees Celsius temperatures. I will not be doing that again because it really was too hot to camp. But we had a lot of fun with the camping. I've been doing a lot of learning and learning about myself and learning about what lights me up and what keeps my energy and my vibration high, because I've been finding that fear and loneliness have been keeping my vibration quite low. I've created this sort of secular life for myself, which throughout the lockdowns, I suppose, has made that worse. And it's not a case of that I don't like being on my own, but I've created this life for myself now where I'm making space for new things to come in. And while I'm waiting for those new things to come in, there is kind of like a gap and there's a bit of an empty space there. So it's adjusting. I'm just adjusting to a spell of change and transformation. And it's an exciting time. But things have been coming in and things are creeping in. So it's really, really nice to see. And when you do that, what I do with women and when I start working with them, when I start coaching them is that I talk about and I teach them and I guide them through this decluttering spell, this decluttering process to make space for the things that you want and to start to create this life that you do want and that will make you happier and it will make you heal. And I've done a lot of healing over the last few months and a lot of reflection. And I can see the changes in myself from the beginning of this year. I can see that through going through into my self-love that I've deepened this process. I've deepened the healing. The healing has come kind of by itself because I'm focusing more on myself and I'm taking that focus away from everyone else. And apart from the children, of course, because they're children, they need my attention, they need my love, they need my time. But otherwise, I'm focusing on myself first and foremost, and then I'm able to give to everyone else from that place. And this exciting space that's there is allowing me to create things, create opportunities, to create situations where I can call in the things that I really, really want into my life. So I've really been coming back to myself in my self-love practices and repeating those self-love practices. I've been going back to my spiritual practices and I need reminding all the time. Like we all need reminding to come back to these things and to dig deep into them when we really, really need it. So I have had a few spells where I've gone through some quite sad times and some quite big emotional stuff has come up for me in this healing process. And as I've opened myself up to new opportunities, i.e. dating and new relationships, coming from previous toxic relationships, this has been bringing up things for me as well and massive emotions. One massive tip I can give you is check out anxious attachments, check out secure attachments, check out your attachment style. Because if you are single, and even if you're not single, you will get your needs met. And if you check out what these attachment styles are and start making the changes to become securely attached through self-love, then you can start to make changes to what your relationships show. I can nearly talk now, can't I? It's because I'm getting excited. You can really see how your relationships are playing out, and then you can make some tweaks, make some changes. And if you're not in a relationship yet, you can see how these attachment styles show up in how you address a relationship or how you enter into one. So I've been showing a lot of kindness to myself because I realise that a lot of what we do is we're not very kind to ourselves when things are really tough. The first person that we start to attack when things are really, really tough can be the people that are close to you, but it can also be yourself. You might lash out you might lash out at other people, and then when you've done that, then in comes the shame, in comes the guilt, and you use that as a weapon to attack yourself. So I've been having to really focus on being kind to myself and coming back to me and my inner child, working on that inner child, doing some meditation, and really listening to what my body needs, listening to what my mind needs, listening to what my inner child needs. And I've been looking to people to help me with these things. I've been looking to other coaches who I work with. I've been looking to other groups of women that I'm in, and getting that support has been so helpful, because getting that support then helps me to make the changes, make the transformation to get me to where I want to be. Journaling is another thing that I've been really getting back into over the last few weeks. Journaling is so helpful because it's really a brain dump. It gets the stuff out of your head and it gets it down onto a piece of paper. It allows you to work through it, especially if you don't have anyone else that you can talk to at the time. It allows you to work through it by yourself. It allows you to just process those emotions, those thoughts, what's coming up for you. And when you look at them, you read it back, you can see what needs to be helped, what needs to be worked on. You could see then where you need support, who could you help you with this, where can you get that from. And I'm certainly open and willing to help you with anything that you need to do with self-love, with designing this life that you love and that you really deserve, and also creating a life where you love yourself so that you can be free of all the suppression from the past, so that you can live without fear and you can live in love instead. And heal as well. Heal from the past, heal from all those things that have happened to you, heal from all those suppressive, controlling relationships, heal from the things that have happened to you in previous relationships. And the journaling just allows you to just get it out, because when you get it out, it's a release. And release is so much more helpful than storing that stuff inside, keeping it inside, and it keeps your energy low, it keeps your vibration low. When your vibration's low, you can't call in new exciting things, and you can't manifest the things that you deserve. Instead, what happens is you go into this circle, you go into a cycle of victimhood, I suppose, and negativity, and you go into this cycle of beating yourself up, and then it passes after a few days and you just go back to normal living, and then something triggers you start the whole cycle all over again, and you never really get to really connect with yourself. So journaling really helps with that. Helping others, I found, has been so helpful for me recently. I've gone back to using my Reiki as a tool for myself to balance my chakras, and also I've been using it to help other people to heal. Some people I know are going through some physical illnesses at the moment, and I've been using it to help them heal, and it's been so helpful to help me heal as well, because I'm here to help other people. I know that that's my calling. I know that that's my purpose to be here, is to help other women. And if I can help other women through sending some Reiki healing just through the ether, through the airwaves, through the atmosphere, then that helps me as well to heal, because helping other people, it makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good, especially if you are a helper, especially if you are an empath. Then helping other people, it does give you a little buzz. So it gives me a little buzz, being able to help other people to get their buzz back as well, and to get their health and their mental well-being back to a place where they're happy. And it releases for them as well. It gives them an emotional release. It can give them a physical release. It can help them to heal, and it helps just with anxiety. It helps to calm the nervous system. So yeah, I'm going back to my Reiki, and it's so good. I love it. And so what's coming up for me now? What's happening now in my business? What's happening in my life? So what I'm doing at the moment is I am deep in planning. I'm planning a new program, which will be a quick go-to when times are really tough, because this is what I found with these big, massive emotions and big things that have come up for me over the last few months, is that the one thing that I keep going back to all the time are my self-love practices. And when I've been going back to those and I've been working through all the journaling questions that I have, I've been working through all the tools that I have, when I've gone through those and gone back to them as a resource, they have been so helpful and have helped me get through. Because what we do is when we're in times of trouble, when we're in times of big emotions, we forget. We forget. And even at other times, we forget to tap into the self-love. We forget to tap into the things that help us. We forget to go back to things. It's only when things get really shitty that you think, oh my God, I really need some help now. What can I do? What can I do? And then what comes to me is, okay, I'll go back to my self-love practices. Because I do use the self-love practices every day, self-care, some of the journaling, the reading. I use the basic self-love practices, but when things get really bad, I need something more. I need something bigger. And I realize that this may be what other people need as well, is a resource that you can go back to when times get really, really tough, and that you can go and you can access the tools in there and you can say, right, yes, I remember these now. I will start and I'll go through the whole process, and it helps to reflect, it helps to look at where you are, it helps to get some healing in there, it helps you to get some insights. And that is what I've learned. So what I've learned is what I'm going to create to give back to you. So that's exciting. I'm so excited about it. I bet you can tell. And what else is happening for me? So personally, I'm just going through the healing process myself. I'm looking at this attachment styles, and I'm working on that myself as well. And I'm working really in my business and giving myself that love. And I'm working a lot on coming from love and not coming from fear, because there is a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety around at the moment. And I am working at coming from love. Is this creating love or is this creating fear? And it really does bring peace of mind when you think about, am I creating love with this or is this creating fear for me? What am I available for? And think about those questions. And if what you're going through at the moment is not what you're available for, then get rid of it, declutter it, remove it from your life and release that. And things that are happening for me and the kids have got some difficult times coming up with friends leaving. So giving them a lot of love and a lot of attention as well. So we're all coming in from the love space at the moment and removing all the fear. And it feels so good. It feels so expansive. So I hope this has been helpful for you. And if there's anything that you'd like to ask me, then please do so. Connect with me on social media. I am on LinkedIn under Irene Strain. I spend most of my time on Instagram under irene.selflovecoach. And also, of course, you're listening to the podcast. And I am on Clubhouse as well under Irene Strain. So I do be on Clubhouse. Haven't started up the rooms that we've been in recently, but will be again. So it's been so lovely to have you listening. And I am sending out lots and lots of loving, positive vibes and energy to you. Mwah.